Bienvenidos chicos a un poquito de Spanish, where we learn Spanish paso a paso. Chillax and let's learn together. In today's video, we'll be looking at the conjugation of Spanish regular verbs in the present tense. So what are verbs? Verbs are words that describe an action or state of being of the subject in a sentence. For example, the boy runs. El chico corre. Here, the verb is runs. In Spanish, the verb has to agree with the subject. That is why it's important to conjugate the verb. Conjugation means changing the verb from its infinitive form to a form that agrees with the subject. So, to run, he runs, they run. Spanish has three groups of verbs. The verbs that end with AR, ER, or IR. And for regular verbs, they all follow the same pattern. So, if you can conjugate one regular verb from the AR, ER, or IR groups, you can conjugate all other verbs in the same category. To conjugate an AR, ER, or IR verb, first take the verb in its infinitive form and drop its ending. Then, add the endings that correspond to the subject pronouns. Let's take a simple and everyday AR verb, like hablar. In conjugation, it becomes yo hablo, tú hablas, él, ella, usted habla, nosotros hablamos, vosotros habláis. Ellos, ellas, ustedes hablan. Let's take the ER verb romper. Yo rompo. Tú rompes. Él, ella, usted rompe. Nosotros rompemos. Vosotros rompéis. Ellos, ellas, ustedes rompen. Let's take an IR verb like vivir. Yo vivo. Tú vives. Él, ella, usted vive. Nosotros vivimos. Vosotros vivís. Ellos, ellas, ustedes viven. From the three verbs we conjugated, we can establish the endings for the AR, ER, and IR verbs. The AR verbs must end in O, AS, A, AMOS, A with an accent, IS, and finally, AN. The ER verbs must end in O, ES, E, EMOS, E with an accent, IS, then EN. And finally, the IR verbs must end in O, ES, E, IMOS, I with an accent, S, and EN. Why don't you try conjugating these verbs using the endings and following the examples before? Desear, prometer, descubrir. Yo deseo, tú deseas, él, ella, usted desea, nosotros deseamos, vosotros deseáis, ellos, ellas, ustedes desean. Prometer, yo prometo, tú prometes, él, ella, usted promete, nosotros prometemos. Vosotros prometéis. Ellos, ellas, ustedes prometen. Descubrir. Yo descubro. Tú descubres. Él, ella, usted descubre. Nosotros descubrimos. Vosotros descubrís. Ellos, ellas, ustedes descubren. Great job! You can now conjugate all regular verbs. This brings us to the end of today's video. Gracias por ver este video y nos vemos. Adiós.